in reading through the book, I loved it because, that's my area is longevity and age rejuvenation. But, you dispel the common myth, and we hear this a lot, is, after a certain age, it's just a downhill slide. You're not going to be able to change or be able to improve upon where you are. And that's just a myth that the book helps to dispel.
So this is sort of the action sports component, I guess. But, if you were raised in the 20th century for sure, possibly even in the 21st century, you grew up with the traditional theory of aging, which I like to call the long, slow rot theory, right? And it's the idea that all of our mental skills and all of our physical skills decline over time, and there's nothing we can do to stop the slide. And this theory actually sort of gets its start with Freud. He writes something in, I think, Beyond Psychotherapy in 1907 that sort of kicks off the long, slow rot theory, or kicks it into like high gear. And by like 1995, all we've done is prove Freud right in exacting detail. We know every single thing that's going to decline and how it's going to fall apart and when and all that stuff. And then starting in about 95, the data starts to change. And this is your field, my field, right? I'm a part of it. And I get involved in it for three reasons. One, personal experiments in regenerative medicine that I've sort of been running on my own self, my own body, my whole life. Flow science runs straight into peak performance aging because flow is one of the main engines of adult development. So it's how we develop successfully as adults. And that goes into how do we have, a successful second half of our lives. That's right there. And then I was running a hospice care sanctuary with my wife for dogs, which we've done for 20 years. And we specialize in like the worst of the worst. And we were using mostly lifestyle interventions. We would do some medical stuff along the way and getting world-class ridiculous results. We would take dogs with like late-stage heart disease and cancer who vets would say, oh yeah, don't get very attached to this guy's going to be dead in a month. And we get 5 more years of healthy lifespan and longevity, right? And, really active because we hike our dogs into the backcountry every day. So it's not just like 5 years hanging around in the house just chilling. They're doing 5 to 7 miles up and down mountains every day. And then in 95, we start to overturn this stuff. And now what we know is everything that we used to think declined over time. We now know it's all a use it or lose it skill. So if you never stop using these skills, you get to hang on to them, even advance them far later in life than anybody thought possible. And to boot, in our late 40s and early 50s, there are really profound and beneficial changes in how the brain processes information. And as a result, we gain access to whole new levels of intelligence, creativity, empathy, and wisdom that all really start to come online in our 40s and 50s. And these are significant kind of boosts. It's like a whole new cognitive superpowers. Like you look at the creativity stuff, it's not just that we get more creative, it's that divergent thinking starts to really come online. And if you've ever tried to train people in creativity, you can teach them almost anything, but trying to teach divergent thinking is really hard. And it starts to happen naturally in our 50s. So your point where we started with all this is the data, the old idea is you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And what the new data says is, hey, wait a minute. Old dogs are actually better at certain kinds of learning than the young dogs.